on 100.3 K-Talk. Chris Baker Radio Show. We are very fortunate to have now on the phone the man we talk about a lot. It's the president, Peebo. Welcome to the Chris Baker Show.
Good morning, Chris, and thank you once again for having me on the show.
It's great to hear from you, Mr. President. I know you've been very, very busy lately, and we haven't talked in quite some time, and a lot has happened. Have you had trouble taking all this in?
Well, Chris, as you know, I'm taking it all in, doing the best I can, and still dealing with, at this point, what I call BP, or Bush problems.
So, are we still blaming George Bush? I thought you told the high school kids to quit blaming people.
Well, I said don't make excuses. But when those excuses and those fingers point in the right direction, that's the place to start the healing process.
Oh, I see. I understand it there. Well, Mr. President, thanks for joining us on the Chris Baker program. Well, let's go over some of these things. I hear now you're finally going to meet with the head of BP. Do you have a plan to try to stop this flow of oil?
Well, as you know, that is my first task, which is plugging that damn hole. The problem I'm having, of course, is that it's a mile down.
Yeah.
And as you know, I've already got the Republicans I'm dealing with who are on the surface, and I can't get them to shut theirs. So I'm kind of up against a wall here, Chris.
Yeah. It's really tough. Have you thought about maybe, I don't know, wishing the oil away?
Well, wishes, I wish every day Sasha and Malia come in and say, Daddy, I wish that oil would stop coming out and messing up those beaches, messing up the livelihoods of the fine people in the Gulf.
Wow.
I wish the Gulf crisis wouldn't be messing with my golf crisis.
You have a golf crisis?
I can't get my short game going with all these tragedies and disasters and all these craziness. The things I'm dealing with every day is messing with my short game.
I understand that. You got to keep working on the short game. Do you have a penalty that you would like to hit BP with? Anything in mind?
Oh, Chris, this is a difficult question. This is something I deal with. Of course, they've already been hit hard financially. The stock is down. Earnings are down. Distributions will be down. So I can't hit them there. So I've decided at this point to force them to move their corporate headquarters to Arizona. Because, as you know, they don't take too kindly to people with accents down there.
Well, I guess that is one strategy. Now, a lot has been made of your comments that you're looking for a, excuse my language, but ass to kick. Have you decided whose ass you're going to kick?
Well, if you'd like to get in line, I can certainly arrange that. But let me tell you, Chris, let me tell you what I went through as a young boy growing up in Hawaii. Watched a lot of Bruce Lee movies. Studied hard, but of course I had Bruce Lee on in the background. And Bruce would stand, if you remember, in the middle of the street, shirt off, and just take people on. And that's what I plan to do. And at this point, I want to remind you, and the American people who hired me, who elected me, they wanted a black president. And it's time. So as Spike Lee said in a phone call to me last week, it's time for Get Obama. That's who I'm going to be now. I'm going to get down to business.
Mr. President, does this mean that you might actually get a grill?
I'm probably going to get a grill, and I'm fixing to get my legacy on. If that's what you mean, I'm going to get down to business here and kick some A in any direction I need to.
Oh my gosh! Oh, Mr. President, we really appreciate
Chris,
you.
I'm going to be all up in it if that's what you're asking.
It's very exciting. Well, that's very stern talk from the president. Mr. President, also big controversy this week. Helen Thomas. Apparently, I wasn't aware of this, but apparently she's got a problem with Jews. Were you sad to see her go?
Well, Chris, it's no doubt the things she said were offensive. She said some things, unfortunately, though, that a lot of people think, but at her age, Nana's lost her inside voice. She's lost her inner monologue, so it's time for her to go.
She's lost her inner monologue? You mean her conscience?
Well, no, I wouldn't say her conscience. We know her conscience. She just lost her ability to keep it inside her head.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, you got to admit, though, Mr. President, it's got to be nice to not have to walk up to that podium and look at that.
Oh, Chris, she's an icon. She's that front seat filler from the last 45 years, back to the Kennedy administration, which she admired, which I admire, for their integrity, hard work, and the things they had going on. And it will be sad to see her go. She's a fixture.
Yeah.
It would be like taking the bust of Winston Churchill out of the White House.
God. All right, one more question, Mr. President. Over the last week, we had a blown perfect game. We had a perfect game. I got about 15 seconds here, Mr. President. Do you think they should have changed the perfect game or made the perfect game for Detroit Tigers into a perfect game, or is it just the way the old ball bounces?
Chris, we don't always make the right call on the first time. But to alleviate this in the future, I plan to pick a umpire czar, as well as look into the redistribution of points so that we don't have unfairness across baseball. We don't need more dynasties, Chris.
There you go. All right. Mr. President, thanks.